It's a long way to the top. If you want to rock and roll, you want to rock and roll? Riding on the highway, going to a show. Stopping on the byway, playing rock and roll. Getting round, getting stoned, getting beat up, getting boned, getting high, getting shook. As for your folks, it's harder than it looks. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. If you think it's easy to do one night stands, try playing a rock and roll band. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll.
Good evening, race fans. I'm your host, Kane Reif, and welcome back. It's been a minute. The 2006 season of the NASCAR Coca-Cola Cup Series. We're here for the final exhibition race of the season. It's the fourth of which we have this year. It is going to be Lowe's for the All-Star, but before then, the All-Star Open to get 3 drivers, and will be 4, including a fan vote, into the main event that will be held directly after this, 30 laps here from Lowe's Motor Speedway as we get set to go and take you to the track side here. Not going to go through the full lineup to start this race. That will be posted in the race chat, but it'll be Mike Bliss and Carl Edwards on the front row to start this event. And starting in third in the final transfer is going to be Jack Sprague in the 55. As we mentioned, going to be a short one here as we get set to roll. 30 laps here from Lowe's, and we take you to the track for the command right away here from Lowe's Motor Speedway.
Drivers, start your engines.
Be 31 cars starting up here to roll off on the green flag and fight for the top 3 spots to make it into the big show for the $1 million. Mike Bliss, of course, fastest in qualifying of these guys. He will start in first place with the 97 Roush Ford of Carl Edwards side by side with him on the front row. Coming up to the green flag here as a pace car will peel off on the left. A lot of quick action to get to here. Eager to get going and start off after a little bit of time away. Pace car off on the left. 8197 on the front row as they round turn 4 and bring us to the green flag. Here from the All-Star Open. 30 in this one, 60 in the main, but still a race to decide it as we are green here from Lowe's Motor Speedway. First lap completed. 81 takes the lead from pole. It'll be Sprague in second and Edwards in third. Top 3 stay the same as we get started here in Lowe's. Mile and a half racetrack as we are right back into the action once again. Got to get this $1 million out of the way first, but that all to come soon. Edwards moves into second place ahead of the 55. It's a battle for third between him and Ricky Rudd in the 33 car as they race down into turn 3 this time.
And you may be curious as to why people in the top 3 are not jockeying for position still, even if all of them are already in. First of all, these are racers. There's still bragging rights to fight for, but there's also $100,000 for winning this thing. There's still prize money for this race.
That there is equals along with the fact that the halfway bonus in the All-Star worth $100,000, but again, yet to get to that. Mike Bliss gonna lead the first 3 laps in a row here, though Edwards right on his tail in that 97 car. He's got the 33 of Rudd right down the back end, and side by side for the lead now as Edwards ducks underneath that 81 into turn 1 this time. Dead heat as they leave that second corner. Packer race cars a little bit over ways off of this top 6. It goes to Atwood in 4th, Jeff Burton, teammate to Edwards, who just took the lead. That's 5th position. 6th belongs to Sprague. Martin Truex Jr., the rookie, just got through into 7th place, and P8 belongs to the rookie Clint Boyer, who's making some starts and is making his first Cup Series appearance, not a points race, but making his debut in the 4-4 Morgan McClure's operation. Got picked up off of the roster of Michael Waltrip Racing, running the full Busch season this year, and making his Cup debut in the non-points event here this week. It was Travis Kvapil in that car last week at Sonoma, as Boyer was out in Memphis to make the start in the Busch Series, but joining his new team this weekend and really having some fun here today, trying to point that 4-car in to the main event for the $1 million, but a lot of racing left to go. Jeff Burton in the 99 moves into 3rd. Mike Bliss has fallen out of the top 3 now, stuck on the outside. It's Sprague working on him for the 4th spot at the moment, as Jeff Burton gets to try and pass the 33 of Ricky Rudd for 2nd place.
Ricky Rudd actually really putting on a show this week.
Absolutely, looking quick to start off for sure, and definitely needing a run like that. Edwards still out front, a little bit of ways ahead of his teammate in the 99 who's looking to take 2nd place right now. Ricky Rudd trying to work the outside. That bottom lane just that little bit better in 1 and 2 as it always has been, and Jeff Burton clear off of turn 2. Here comes Sprague to take the last transfer.
I mean, yeah, Ricky just took advantage of Rudd getting loose off the corner there.
And on top of that, trying to work on Burton for 2nd. Rudd almost took it 3 wide, gonna think better of it. Very close for these last couple spots in at the moment. Down the front.
In a race like this, you have to take opportunities. You can't just ride around here.
Absolutely. You can't bide your time. You gotta go for it. It is all or nothing in a race like this. Almost 3 wide. Ricky Rudd only side by side with the 81 of Bliss, who just about found his way underneath that 33 there out of turn 4. Side by side by those two as they head down the front stretch. Bliss just about hanging on the quarter panel, though Rudd might be able to get clear of him, and he does, at least for the moment. And stays in front of the 81 car as they leave turn 2. Jack Sprague might have a chance to challenge for the lead here against Edwards in that 97 car. Tightly knit
and
up
it's just
front.
So much action, so little time.
Already a third of the way through. The next time by, it'll be 10 laps completed when they cross the stripe next. For Edwards in the 97, who's just leaving a little bit of bottom open for Sprague, who gets underneath him. We'll see if he can stay there. 0 car in the wall there out of turn 2. That was Christian Elder up in the fence.
Elder, yeah.
Managed to keep it out of harm's way, loses a handful of positions, fell back to 17th behind the 77 of Todd Bodine. Down the front stretch now as Jack Sprague taking the lead away. Here comes Mike Bliss to try and pass the 97 car for 2nd. Couldn't quite stay underneath him. Side by side between that 81 and 33 there for the 3rd spot off of turn number 2 as they head down the back stretch. How about the rookie, Martin Truex Jr. making some noise here. He moves into 4th ahead of the 33. Really turning some heads to start this race and has a lot of speed underneath him in that 8 car. He gets underneath of Bliss for 3rd, looking to try to take one of these transfer spots here.
Really turning some heads this entire season. Real okay.
Bliss really using all the racetrack. Managed to keep it out of the wall. Battle for the lead as Edwards ducks underneath the 55 for 1st. Truex distances himself from the 33 of Rudd for that third spot. Side by side by the 2 leaders. Sprague holds off the 97 on the outside that time.
Something that you kind of begin to notice as this run goes on is that as the tires wear, they have a little bit of a harder time holding the line, a little bit of a harder time holding the corners through.
Absolutely, and again, another thing you notice, we always talk about a lot of racetracks with this race car, the Gen 4 especially, it just seems to be that the outside gets a little better when the tires get older. And this racetrack, kind of a story of 2 parts, you know, the one and 2 on the inside, you get into that set of corners, and it is really a lot better on the bottom, even later in the run. But 3 and 4, pretty much the whole way through, you can see times where the guys can power around the outside, but they have to use all the racetrack, and the drivers don't often do that. It's really a game of risk-reward, trying to keep it out of the fence for the most part, and we see a lot of that at this racetrack, both in All-Star Weekend and in the 600. But 3 and 4 is the line where it's that set of corners where the outside is just that little bit better than it is in 1 and 2, and usually you see the inside prevailing. That's a story that's not true at some of the other racetracks we've talked about with the outside getting better, but it does work sometimes, but usually the inside is the lane of choice for these guys, especially at this racetrack. It typically tends to complete the pass either way, but you see these guys run in the middle a little bit. The tires get older, you kind of slip up the racetrack as you mentioned, and it gets easier to run a higher line and trying to just focus on there, but making the pass still is always going to be the bottom at this racetrack.
And that's halfway.
Halfway it is. 15 laps completed, 15 laps to go. Hendrick, Roush, and Roush, your top 3. It's Sprague, Edwards, and Burton pulling away from the rest of this field right now as they are all bunched up in this mix for 4th on back. It's Martin Truex Jr. on the bottom of the 33. He's got Atwood right behind him as they lead turn 4 this time. Bunch of Chevys lined up on the bottom lane as they head down the front stretch with a chance to try and catch up to this top 3. Jeff Burton looking to try to find a way around his teammate Edwards for 2nd. Sprague loving that in his mirror as the 2 forwards duke it out. Edwards just about using all the racetrack. Can he clear the 99? He did. See if Burton makes a second effort. He does not. Not trying to overwork his teammate right now.
A driver that's been having a really good, quietly good run this entire race is Eric Norris in that 51. He's just been hanging in there.
Just close enough to maybe make a late race shot at it, especially if they bunch up a lot like that last run a couple laps ago where they were all real stacked up for 4th on back. If you can get something like that to happen late, might have a shot at it. Seeing a lot of these front runners emerge, though.
I mean, the question is, you're going to have to rely on lap cars, and are those going to be a factor in this race?
That is an important question, and it's looking like the answer to that question is no, as it's 52 and 50 for last, leaving turn 4, while the leaders are in turn 1, so I would imagine that would not be the case. Battle is still for 2nd place. Burton trying to stay in front of the pack, who is caught back up to try and fight for these transfer spots. It's Truex and Bliss side by side behind the 97 and 99 as they head into turn 3. Jack Sprague running away with it in 1st right now.
And another thing you also begin to notice the laps tick on is that when you get side by side, the speed disparity between a car single file and a car side by side is just so much more.
Absolutely.
And you can even have it to where you see more of drivers taking it 3, drivers getting closer together because there's just simply less track to work with as the tires go on. They run higher, they run close to the wall.
Truex loose there out of turn 4. 10 laps to go now in the open. 8 car looking to take 2nd from Edwards right now, and he will slip on past Carl Edwards in the 97. Although Edwards trying his hardest to use as much of the racetrack he can, as well as his teammate Burton. I believe Ricky Rudd might have brushed the wall there out of turn number 4. And headed down the back stretch into turn number 3 this time. Truex looking to run down that 55.
Yay. Certainly making the thing purr.
Whole pack of cars bunched up. Bliss trying to keep it out of the wall. That is the whole field side by side except for the top 3 and 4 now, as it's Atwood who clears out in front of that pack in P4. Jason Leffler getting to work late. Side by side with Mike Bliss for 5th. See if these guys can hold on to the transfers, but with the draft at this racetrack, this pack can bunch right back up. We'll see. It's 8 to go now. Truex closing in on Sprague for the lead, trying to work on that 55 for first. We'll see if he's got a move on him. He does.
Going down to the bottom, and this entire pack's just going to catch right back up.
Truex, the rookie, working on the veteran Sprague, side by side down the front stretch. 7 laps to go. The 8 had the lead by a nose. Edwards trying to give him some help. And Martin Truex Jr. to the lead now. Edwards ahead of Sprague for second. Down the backstretch they go once more. It'll be 6 to go at the line for Truex, who's got a tiny bit of an advantage over this 97, but Edwards not quite given up yet.
Not quite one bit, and it looks like that it's just... Even with that pass, they haven't been able to catch. That second group just hasn't organized.
They've worked on it now. They'll have 5 laps left at the line to try and catch back up to at least Sprague, who was dropped off of these 2 leaders late. Five laps to go now for the 8 and 97, who are bumper to bumper for this race lead late. It's all bragging rights now between these two as long as they can hold on to it. Edwards trying to find the bottom lane. Couldn't quite do it as Truex sits just in front of him for the lead. Mike Bliss in the 81, the pole sitter, trying to run down that 55 for the 3rd spot.
And that's the thing. That's the really tough part, is that you still want to go for the win. But you can't wreck the car.
That's what Edwards is going to do, though. He's going to go for that 1st spot on the rookie Truex. 8 trying to use all the racetrack. Edwards all the way on the bottom. The 97 now has first, pulls Sprague right back into it. And he's going to duck underneath Truex for 2nd place. And Truex got a little loose there. Is going to get clear without Bliss pulling up to him, but that gap shrinks a little more. In fact, he's going to counterattack the 55, trying to put a buffer between himself and the last car, looking to get a spot in. It's 3 to go. That time by 55 and 8 for 3rd and 2nd place as Truex into P2. Sprague now falling towards the clutches of Bliss.
And suddenly we have a race again. Can Bliss make it under? Not quite.
Got real tight there. Sprague pulled away. 2 to go at the line for Edwards.
Where do you go?
Truex is not going to bide his time, trying to make a statement on the racetrack here tonight in the exhibition of an exhibition. Coming to the line, it'll be the white flag, and Truex clear for the race lead. Last lap.
Nothing but clear track ahead of Martin Truex Jr.
Can the 81 of Bliss get to Edwards for 3rd with Sprague moving to 2nd place? He does! Side by side for 3rd down the backstretch for the final time. Bliss is going to be clear, but the story's the 8 car. Up in front, rookie Martin Truex Jr. stomps the field late, and he's going to win it. The 8 car, the winner of the Open here to start off All-Star festivities. Sprague 2nd, and Bliss in 3rd to advance.
Chevy and Chevy.
How about that run by the Chevrolets late as Edwards falls out right at the very end, and Martin Truex Jr., the rookie, is your winner of the Open. A fantastic showing by him here tonight, and he advances 1st of 3 into the All-Star, and we'll have your fan vote for you in just a little bit as Truex Jr., Sprague, and Bliss all lock themselves in. And we'll take you to the main event in just a moment here from Lowe's. And what a showing for that 8 of Truex. We'll be right back here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. It'll be Lowe's. Either way, Lowe's Motor Speedway at Charlotte. We'll be right back here from the NASCAR Coca-Cola Cup Series. And we bring you back here at Lowe's Motor Speedway for the main event. It'll be 60 laps to 30 lap segments here in the All-Star race. All-Star Challenge, that is, as we take you to the trackside for your starting lineup in the main event. Robbie Gordon in the 31 car will be your pole sitter for the main showing. In second place, it's Jeff Gordon in the 24. And looking down the rest of the order, it's Kurt Busch will start in the third position. Fourth belongs to Ryan Newman in the 12. Casey Kane will be fifth. And sixth, Jamie McMurray in the 40. In seventh place will be Greg Biffle and Mark Martin in P number 8. Teammate Dale Jr. right behind in 9th, 10th, belongs to the 18 of Bobby Labonte. 11th will be Kevin Harvick in the 20 car, and Tony Stewart in 12th. Jeremy Mayfield will be 13th in the 26, and Ricky Hendrick in the 14th spot. Terry Labonte will be in P15, and John Wood in 16th place. 17th will be Kyle Busch in the 43, and Jimmy Johnson a bit of a ways down the order. That's the points leader of this season all the way back in 18th. 19th will be Regan Smith, and 20th, starting of the open drivers, it'll be Martin Truex Jr. in the 8th. 55 of Jack Sprague will be in 21st, 22nd Mike Bliss, and Ricky Rudd in the 33 is the fan vote winner. He will be in the 23rd and final spot in this 60-lap race. Take you to the track for the command once again here as everybody gets set to roll in the All-Star Challenge.
Drivers, start your engines.
As said, 23 cars in the main event here. 2 30-lap segments. It's a $100,000 bonus to win that halfway mark. And expecting a pit stop on that moment when we get to lap number 30. But all that yet to come. Robbie and Jeff Gordon to lead the field here on this start. Of course, you'll note 66 laps officially, but those are caution laps that will be added. It is 30 green flag laps in each segment, providing we don't get any wrecks. And, of course, that is a big if, but we will see. We went clean in the open. We usually go clean in the All-Star as well with the smaller fields, but nonetheless, still a lot of ifs and buts yet to come. And, of course, what to focus on is going to be your tire choice. Of course, last year we saw Greg Biffle was the only car to take 4 tires, and he won the race, being the only car to take those 4 tires. Started way back in the field on extra rubber, charged through, made the pass late, with only a couple laps left. As a matter of fact, it was on the 18 of Bobby Labonte to win that race. And we'll see if anybody goes alternative strategy this time as well. 2 tires, you want the track position, but 4 seemed to work last year, so we'll see if anybody does it this year as well.
I mean, 22 spots is quite a bit to make up in 30 laps, even with fresh rubber.
That is for sure. You got to have a good car to do it. But nonetheless, pace car going to peel off on the left. Robbie Gordon will lead the field to the green here from the pole, and we are underway. It's the Coca-Cola All-Star Challenge here from Lowe's Motor Speedway. Off of turn 4, 2 front row sitters are going to lead the field 1-2 as Robbie Gordon leads the opening lap. Jeff Gordon going to duck underneath him to look for the race lead. Side by side as they enter turn number 1 here. Whole field still bunched up early in the running. Jeff Gordon takes the early race lead away from the 31 car. Kurt Busch looking to take second from that singular wireless Chevrolet.
We all know that they're running for $1 million here. But there's a whole lot more than just the $1 million. The All-Star race is seen as its own crown jewel, distinct from that of the Daytona 500 or the World 600. Do you think that this race has a similar prestige to those, or how much of it really is just the money?
It's up there for sure, and especially with some of the changes that they had made to the format a couple of years ago that made it into the race it is today. And especially, you think about the fact that this is also one big test session for a lot of these teams. Not only are you fighting for just bragging rights and ego and trying to get that $1 million home as well. You want to try and test your car for the 600. It's a very similar setup. Of course, it's segmented so you don't get the long run, but some teams use it as a test to try and get a setup dialed in. And when you win this race, it's a big confidence boost going into Coca-Cola 600 weekend. You've got a fast car, something to build off of going into that race. And it's important for these teams. You want to try and get something that's fast in this race. Even if you don't win it, you want to try to be competitive, and we see a lot of the front-running teams that run up front in this race, running up front in the 600 as well. It's important for these guys, of course, and you want to get those laps in, as many as possible, for a race that's as long as the 600. You want to be able to try and just focus up, get something dialed in, and it works out well for some of these teams. And usually, the race winner of this race especially tends to run up front quite often at the 600, especially more in later years. We've seen that quite frequently.
The other important thing to note is that if you wreck in the All-Star race, it really does put you on the back foot for the 600. Because it's not uncommon for teams to actually use the same car for both races.
Absolutely. That's why you talk about trying to get this setup dialed in and everything sorted out. And, of course, it's not too big of a penalty given the fact that, well, this is in Charlotte. So, of course, a lot of these teams are set up and prepared for that. But either way, it does really help you to have that car that you use in this race, and especially if you've got something competitive under your foot, it's really helpful to keep that car clean. And usually we don't see a lot of accidents in this All-Star, but really anything can happen when $1 million is on the line.
I mean, yeah, all it takes is one person putting a nose where it shouldn't be, and we had some close calls in the Open.
That we definitely did. Seeing 3 Ganassi cars in the top 5 right now, and 2 of them up front. It's Kurt Busch and Jamie McMurray in the 40, who sit first and second, and Tony Stewart in the 42 car, who has led the way for this team quite a lot of this year. He's in 4th place, just behind the 18 of Bobby Labonte, who sits in 3rd. That's your Daytona 500 winner right there. Side by side by the 2 teammates, though. Kurt Busch trying to power around the outside, but McMurray says, I'm not going to have any of that. At least stays with him. No, Kurt Busch stays clear. And Tony Stewart trying to make it a Ganassi 1-2-3 at the moment as he ducks underneath the 18.
You know, common consensus around the garage is that Ganassi and Gibbs have the 2 best sets of horses under those cars, and they're really making them purr today.
Without a question, though, Kevin Harvick is going to be on the latter end of that argument, trying to fight with Stewart, who's against his former car for the 4th position right now. McMurray and Busch have pulled a little bit of a gap as they were battling for 3rd for a moment. 20 and 42 still side by side as they enter turn 1. Jeff Gordon, who led a couple early laps, right behind them. And slipping past the 42 himself on the bottom. Moves into the 5th position. Ryan Newman for 6th. And it's just that sort of freight train, you know, especially in 1 and 2. We talk about how 1 and 2 is a spot where the bottom is so much better. You work it a little bit in 3 and 4, it can be done. But 1 and 2, that bottom side prevails, and we've seen it so far in the Open and the early running of today. Of course, the fresh tires make that bottom just that much better.
I mean, the only people I've seen able to make passes on the top in 1 and 2 was Greg Biffle last year on 4.
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, you gotta have so much of a better race car. Meanwhile, Jimmy McMurray slips past his teammate. In front of the 01 for the lead is McMurray, as Bobby Labonte looks for 2nd place. And it's Kevin Harvick to take 3rd. Bunch of Chevrolets ducking underneath, trying to make up positions right now. As Jeff Gordon will try to take P4 from the 01 car. Harvick clear for 3rd down the backstretch.
I believe this is Jamie McMurray's first ever All-Star race appearance.
It would be his first locked into this event. He won the Open last year to advance into the main show. Seen a lot of young guns prevail in the Open for sure, him being one of them, and of course Truex, who won the Open. Get a checkup on that 8 car, and he runs in the 16th position right now. Has made up a couple of positions since the start of the race, but has a long way up yet if he wants to get towards the race lead. But not off to a bad start for sure. Jamie McMurray well in front of the 2 Gibbs cars side by side for 2nd right now as they round turn number 4. Well, both of them got to run on that 40 down the front stretch here. It's going to be tight for this race lead, but Harvick not going to be able to find his way underneath the Gillette Dodge for first, entering turn 1 that time. Ooh, Ricky Hendrick getting elbows out with Jeff Gordon. Believe he might have made contact with his teammate there. Hard to say. might have done. Gonna get a look back on the onboard of Ryan Newman, who is right behind this mix. And they did. A little bit of door-to-door contact that was between the two teammates, the 5 and the 24. Ricky Hendrick, characteristically aggressive as always, and in a race that means as much as this one does, really making some sparks early as he gets into his teammate Jeff Gordon. That was for the 4th position. He's in front of him now, trying to hold off Bobby Labonte, who's getting underneath the 5 for the 4th spot down the front stretch. Field kind of bunching up a little bit right now as everybody's in a pack from about 4th on back. A lot of side-by-side action through the midfield right now.
And I think this is a really different story than what we saw in the Open, where the Chevrolets were just working together. But I don't think there's any friends here.
Yeah, I wouldn't say not a single person on this track is a friend at the moment. Battle for the lead, it's between Harvick and McMurray as the 20 times his move perfectly and is up into 1st place. Kurt Busch right behind in the 01 car as the 18 teammate of the 20, following through in 3rd. That's Bobby Labonte back there. And Ricky Hendrick looking to maybe try to make a spot up as he sets his sights on the 40 car. Though might be under fire from Ryan Newman and will be, as they are going to go side by side for the 5th position instead. Dale Jr. in the 88 has also had a bit of a quiet but competitive day so far in that Hard Rock Ford. Sits in the 7th position at the moment, has been just outside the top 5 pretty much all day. And has been competitive but not quite up for the lead, but definitely has a car underneath him right now that they can work with, and when this pit stop comes out later, might want to make an adjustment to try to bring it all the way in. And we'll see what the plan is for him in the 88 team, battling with Newman for the 6th spot right now. Ricky Hendrick still making up time. He stayed in front of the 12 despite the side-by-side moment, and he gets past McMurray for 4th, with his sights set on a potential race lead here. But this segment continuing to wind down the first half of this race. Kurt Busch and Bobby Labonte go side-by-side for 2nd. Harvick pulling away a bit from the race lead in that 20 machine. Well out in front of the 01 and 18 right now. Will be clear in front of the 01 for the 2nd spot down the back stretch. Ricky Hendrick followed him through into 3rd. McMurray thought about getting underneath the 5, but we'll just focus on his teammate for now as he gets in front of Kurt Busch. Trying to block a couple lanes. Got the 88 of Dale Jr. pushed up underneath his back end, and Jr. might have a shot to get underneath him, but he will not quite get there as McMurray stays in front. Triple Chevys up front, 2018-5. Couple of Gibbs teammates leading the showing here. But nonetheless, top 4 a little bit of a ways away from the rest of the field at the moment, thanks to all the battles. Robbie Gordon, the pole sitter, has found his way back through the field. He looks to take away 5th from Dale Jr. at the moment. Those two side by side for that spot back there. Ricky Hendrick looking to move up another position. Got a fast car in the longer run. McMurray might go 3 wide here, and he will. Here comes the 40 underneath. Trying to go 2 for 1. Still 3 wide off of turn 4. Ricky Hendrick trying to get clear of the 40, and he will. And in the tightest of situations, middle of 3 wide there, but managed to sort it out. Now it's just side-by-side for 3rd between McMurray and Bobby Labonte. Robbie Gordon up the back end of the 40 car as they head down the back stretch. Murray will get clear of the 18, leaving turn 4 that time. Ricky Hendrick trying to fight for the bonus. It's the 20 in the lead, just a little bit of a ways up the road. He was a couple tenths faster that last time. McMurray looking even faster than that. These 3 might be about to be deadlocked in a battle for this halfway win. Just a couple of laps left in this thing. Hendrick doing what he can, but McMurray and Robbie Gordon pulling up to the back bumper of the 5. Murray thinking about diving underneath him in turn 1, and Hendrick will have to yield the inside. McMurray to challenge for P2. Down the backstretch, it'll be 5 laps to go in segment number 1 this time. Does Robbie Gordon take it 3 wide? He does not. McMurray is clear for second place. Has a chance to try to catch the 20 now. He's the next one with the opportunity. 5 laps to go in the first half of this race. And he just closed on up. That 40 car is on rails right now, and here comes Jamie McMurray for the race lead.
Forget looking for room, he just made that room.
How about Harvick all the way against the wall, and he cleared it on the outside. 4 laps to go, 20 still got the lead. Making that racetrack as wide as it can get. He was out of the rubber against the wall there.
I think he just found some grip not a single other driver has ever seen.
Field single file as we head towards 3 laps to go. Harvick still running a touch higher than the 40. Gets the run off the corner once more. He's really finding that grip up there in 3 and 4 right now. Might give Ricky Hendrick a chance for second here. Running out of time to catch that 20 car. McMurray keeps the bottom covered against the 5.
It's just that Harvick's running a better line.
And when you're having to think about that 5 car, trying to block him all while trying to catch that 20, kind of cost you some time. McMurray ran a good line that time and kept the gap equal. It's 2 laps to go in the first half now.
That 40 is better in 1 and 2, but the 20 is just so much better in 3 and 4.
We'll see if McMurray's got anything for this 20 car. Down the backstretch as they head towards the last lap in half number 1. Does McMurray have anything for the 20 machine? Looking like that might be no, but it's not over yet. Last lap in the first half for the $100,000 bonus. We'll see if McMurray can reel him in. Yellow flag will fly at the line this time. McMurray's getting a run off of turn 2, but Ricky Hendrick might try for track position here into 3 and 4 for the final time. Harvick out of the throttle. Does McMurray have anything for him? Come into the line, down to the stripe. McMurray tries to get there, but Kevin Harvick will win the first half. 20 cars got the lead, and we are under caution. $100,000 bonus to the 20 of Kevin Harvick.
And for those counting at home, that's about $200,000 won by Joe Gibbs Racing this week, just today.
And tell you what, 40 and 5 are in front of the 20 entering the pits here. Probably going to get black flag for passing under yellow. Interesting there. Not sure what the deal with that is. Maybe McMurray not too happy with the 20 or the 5. Either of them really not too pleased. And they might end up going to the back here. We'll see what NASCAR says about that one. I doubt they'll like it. So a bit of controversy here. Harvick, race leader, into his pit box here. And we'll see if anybody takes 4. It'll be 4 tires for Dale Earnhardt Jr. 4 tires for the 12. Looking like 4 tires for pretty much everybody here, as a matter of fact. Not any takers on 2. So looking like everybody learned their lesson with what Biffle did last year. 4 tires for pretty much everybody. And winner off of pit road, I believe, will be the 18 of Bobby Labonte, given the black flags to the 40 and 5. We'll take it to intermission here at the halfway break. Bobby Labonte, now your race leader in the 18 car. We will be right back here from Lowe's. Back from intermission here at Lowe's as we get all set to go. So the 5 and 40 got EOLL penalties. They will be at the back of the field, which is unfortunate for their races. And worth noting is that Kevin Harvick, while passing those guys as they were dropping to the back of the field, ran into the back of McMurray, and presumably deliberate, imagining that he was not too happy with the 40 or 5 car, and he got held up by the both of them heading into his pit box, which probably cost him the lead there. So his teammate Bobby Labonte now the race leader. So seeing some tempers in the All-Star race, which is a new change. But nonetheless, top 5 will be 18, 16, 42, 48, and 20. Coming back to the restart here, it will be 30 laps to go as we get started on half number 2. Labonte and company heading towards the restart. Pace car in on the left. And the Interstate Batteries Chevrolet will lead the field to the green here. Last year's All-Star winner Greg Biffle in second place. And we are underway once more here from Lowe's. Biffle having to drop to the bottom with Stewart going to the outside towards turn 1. Labonte stays in front of the 16 as they enter the first 2 corners. But for how long? Biffle had to breathe the throttle maybe just a touch there. Down the back stretch now. Side by side for second. Here comes Jimmy Johnson in the 48, taking Casey Kane with him. Might have a shot to get all the way to the lead, and he does force Labonte up the racetrack. Here comes the points leader, Jimmy Johnson, underneath the 18 for the race lead down the backstretch. Couple of Yates cars right behind him. Labonte trying to fend off the attack on the outside. Dead heat at the line. It was the 18 by a skosh. 18 and 48 into turn 1. Labonte can't hold it forever, though, and Jimmy Johnson has the race lead down the backstretch, but Casey Kane might try to challenge for first down into turn number 3. Will not take the move yet. Gonna be patient here. Got a lot of laps left, but he might have a shot this time down the front stretch. We'll see. But Johnson will stay in front, leads his first lap of the night. 38.88 right behind. 3 wide back there. Kyle Busch underneath. Harvick gets into the 42. Somehow everybody kept it together just about. I have no idea how they saved that. Stewart got a little tap from Harvick in the middle of 3 wide. Harvick overdrove the entry to the corner. But somehow they kept it all together.
Meanwhile, in the lead, it's just the Kane and Johnson show.
Way out in front is the 48 and 38. It's Newman and Jr. for third at the moment. Down the back stretches the 88 and 12 side by side. Good run by Newman on the bottom. Should get clear this time. Kane looking to try and find a gap to get by that 48 car, but couldn't do it. Johnson running a little higher, got the run. Harvick back into P5, though he's fighting with his teammate for that position as Labonte ducks back underneath him. Newman up the track trying to fend off Jr. Harvick way up the track again, trying to use that outside line like he did earlier in the race. Whole field is bunched up behind the 12 and 88. Kane and Johnson have checked out right now.
Somebody check their library card because they're out of here.
Absolutely. 48-38, way gone. Kyle Busch trying to take 5th from Bobby Labonte. Labonte with a big, big run on the outside that time. In front of the 43, just about entering turn 1, but Busch with the advantageous line. Junior once again fighting with Newman for 3rd. It's just trying to get first dibs on who can try to catch these leaders, and nobody's winning this race. Off of turn number 4, Kane still in the tire tracks of the 48, not dropping off of Johnson, who is comfortably leading this race. Still a battle for P3 as Newman crosses over Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And here we got Kyle Busch.
About this 43 car, Kyle Busch moving up the mix, trying to get towards P3 right now. But what's it going to matter with how far out front the 48 and 38 are? Labonte in a battle with Jeff Gordon for 7th. Down the backstretch as Earnhardt Jr. still in the mix with the 12. Meanwhile, for the lead, it's Johnson and Kane side by side for first. 20 laps to go at the line for the 2 race leaders. Remains to be seen if this will pull the rest of these guys who have formed their secondary pack up into this mix. Kane trying to force the 48 to run higher. Johnson with a big run, but got a little sideways. Still side by side for the race lead as they head towards turn 3. Johnson trying to use the whole racetrack, and he pulls it off, still in front of the 38. Some defense out of that 48 car, who's got a heck of a machine under him in this second segment. Guess they went the right way on the adjustment, didn't they?
I mean, we've heard them talk all of practice. Once they get into the lead, the race is as good as over.
Without a question, but Kane's been giving him a run for his money. It's just been a tough battle trying to find a way around him. And Johnson, man, he ran away there in 3 and 4 that time. It's Kane's teammate, Dale Jr. Gotta wonder if Kane used up his stuff trying to stay with the 48. We'll see how that plays out over the next couple laps. Kane appears to have been just a little bit better out of turn 2 that time. And trying the line that Johnson's been making good use of in 3 and 4, running just a smidge higher. Not sure how much of a run he got. Battle for for 3rd, behind Kane, though Busch couldn't stay underneath the 88. And Kane, with a little bit of draft help from behind, might be able to catch back up to that 48 car now. Down the back stretching towards turn 3, 48, 38, 88, 01, and 12, your top 5. Battle for 3rd again as Kurt Busch ducks underneath Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jr. way overdrove the entry, and Kurt Busch slips right on past. Tough break for Earnhardt. Really sailed it off in there, got way sideways. Kept it out of the wall, but lost a couple of spots. He falls behind Newman, who he's been with for most of this race. Back down to 5th. They try to get back to work on Newman for the 4th spot. These two have been going at it this race.
I also tell you what, it looks like Kyle has just ran out of... just ran out of pace.
Working with Sprague, who's in 10th. That's the highest open car. Truex Jr. is not too far behind. He's in 12th. Kane with another shot for the lead. He ducks underneath in 1. That's the spot you want to make that move. Johnson up the track. Kane through. 38 to the lead.
And the crowd erupts.
Here is Kurt Busch against the 48 for 2nd place. Fans on their feet down the front stretch as the 38 sits out front. Dale Jr. right behind the 01 car. Trying to maybe find a way past this 48, who once again up the racetrack a little bit, but made it work. Almost got the wall. Using every inch of this racetrack right now.
Dale Jr.'s just about pushing Kurt.
Forced the 01's issue, and he managed to get in front of the 48. Johnson clear of Jr. down the front stretch.
I have to think maybe Dale Jr. figured Well, if I can't win this thing, I'm at least going to try and help my teammate win it.
Without a question, here's Johnson trying to counterattack the 0-1 car of Kurt Busch. Side by side for second, Kane out front. Johnson a little squirrely coming out of the corner. Just a smidge that helps Busch stay there, but we'll see if the 48 can get him into one.
I don't think there's any words that 38, that any team's fans of Team 38 want to hear more than side by side for second.
Without a question. Coming to 10 laps to go this time. Dale Earnhardt Jr. just took third as well. Right behind the 48. Might have a chance to battle him for second. Help his teammate out, but Johnson's got a huge run out of turn 4 for the lead. Johnson off of 4, clear of that Yahoo Ford. 2 teammates for second. Newman almost took it 3 wide. Thought better of it. 88's got P2 now. Might have a shot at this Lowe's Chevrolet that leads this race. And he is right on the back bumper down the front stretch. With a chance down the inside into turn 1.
Again, that's where you want to make this move.
And he timed it perfect. Dale Jr. on his into the lead. You talk about the fans being on their feet for the 38. They're on their feet for this 88. Dale Earnhardt Jr. into the lead. It's going to be 8 laps to go at the line. Can he hold off Jimmie Johnson and the rest of this pack?
When was the last time Dale Jr.'s picked up a checkered flag?
Believe it'd be 2002. But Johnson's not going to let him go away easy. Down the back stretch, the 48 right on the back bumper of that Ford for the lead, and he will duck underneath him for first into turn 3.
But you don't want to make a pass into 3.
But Junior got loose, and the 48's got the lead. Bobby Labonte back into the mix in third. Almost got underneath Junior into turn 1, and he did.
There's almost this aura of inevitability.
Down the back stretch as the 88 and 18 side by side for second. Junior trying to find his way around on the outside. But Labonte is going to complete the pass. No, not quite. Junior with a second breath. 6 to go for the 48 of Jimmie Johnson. Labonte clear, but Kurt Busch is going to be the next to try to challenge for second, and he did get underneath the 18 down the back stretch.
And the 48 absolutely is loving the shuffle that's forming behind him.
Kurt Busch made quick work of the 18, though, and he moves into second place. Does he have anything for Jimmie Johnson? 5 laps to go in the All-Star Challenge. 48 and 01, your top 2.
And here comes Newman.
Couldn't keep
Not
the nose
quite.
underneath. All over the place for second. Down the back stretch with 4.5 laps to go. A huge run for Kurt Busch, trying to close up on this 48 for the lead. Johnson
48 goes low, 01 goes high.
48 got tight, and Kurt Busch got loose. Both of these drivers fighting their race cars. 4 laps to go. Look at them all over the place leaving turn 2. Single file through the top 5. Kyle Busch is back into the mix as well in the 43. He sits 4th. Any one of these guys could win this race, but they've got to get to Jimmie Johnson first. Will it be Newman, who now looks for second place? Busch drove it all the way off into turn number 2, and he is just about clear. Bobby Labonte looking to fight for position. They are almost 3 wide for second down the back stretch, and they will go 3 wide into turn 3. So many drivers wanted a shot at that 48 that none of them have a shot at that 48.
Just start writing the check now.
Problems for the 81, who is blowing up.
And they'll throw the...
That is going to end this race. You talk about inevitability. This 48 has won just about everything there is to win this year. He'll add another one to the trophy cabinet. Jimmy Johnson wins the All-Star Challenge. It'll be the checkered flag next time for him as he takes it under yellow flag. And man, what a race for him to cut back through this field. Started way down the order, and he gets back to the lead, and that 48 unstoppable this year.
I mean, everyone was saying, just look at the name of the track, and you'll have the winner of this race.
Without a shadow of a doubt, and coming back to the checkered flag, Jimmy Johnson, who has absolutely trounced the field all year long. He'll do it again, even in exhibition. Jimmy Johnson in the Lowe's 48 is going to come off of turn 4 behind the pace car, held off everybody, passed Kane for the lead, and didn't look back. He wins it. What a thriller here at Lowe's for the $1 million, and Jimmy Johnson will be the one doing the burnouts at the end of it as he wins your 2006 NASCAR Coca-Cola All-Star Challenge. Second place ends up being Ryan Newman. They were 3 wide coming back to the stripe. It was Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, and Bobby Labonte, all 3 deep coming off of turn 4. That was for third. And just all of them getting in this mix, trying to make up as many positions as you could. Nothing but pride on the line here. And I believe it was Kyle Busch who got that third spot just about over his older brother. Did he? No, he did not. Kurt Busch with a huge run on the top of 3 wide, no less. Managed to get the run. He comes home in third, but it's not going to be the story everybody talks about. It's going to be that 48, Jimmy Johnson, who wins it under caution here. But he didn't need that caution to win that race. That's for certain. So Jimmy Johnson, your winner. And it is always great to have you back, and that will do it here from Lowe's Motor Speedway as Jimmy Johnson, your winner of the 2006 All-Star Race. Next week, it'll be the other big show. The Coca-Cola 600 is soon to come. 120 laps of long nighttime action in that one. But on behalf of Braden joining me in the booth tonight, it's a pleasure to have you along as always. I'm your host, Caden Reif, and we'll catch you next time, and as always, have yourself a good one.
It's a long way to the top.